Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello. Welcome to the show.
What are you doing? Why?
What? Why? What, the mask?
Yeah.
Well, because of everything going on, we're supposed to wear masks when we're in close contact with someone. And, look how close we are, Steve.
The
Close. It's almost there.
Live long and prosper. Yeah. I don't think you have to do it when we are in different rooms.
Yeah, but you are about 40 miles from here.
Yeah. But in the box right next to you.
You think it's safe? I'm just nervous because it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. But do you like it? It's USA.
Oh, God, I hadn't even noticed that part of it. Oh, God.
How could you not notice that? My freedom mask. Well,
I've not memorized the flag of every nation, have I? So I don't really know what the American
this isn't
one is.
Every nation. This is the nation. There can only be one. There's a lot of violence and beheading. Anyway, solve that problem. Welcome to the show where Steve and I look at the day's news, solve the problems that are out there as only two comics can. As you're watching, please feel free to join us on our social medias. Feel free to join us in the chat, which will mostly be on the YouTube. So check us out on the main YouTube channel there. So if you're seeing us over on Twitter, if you're seeing us over on Facebook, come to the YouTube because they love us. They've only given us one strike on our channel. Yeah. So, we're doing good. Doing good and better than others. But, that's basically what we're going to be doing, solving problems like this. This is going to solve all the problems, freedom, and have a good time as we do so. And if at any point you enjoy what you're doing or you want to pay me to not wear that mask ever again, you can always go to our Ko-fi link, which is on the YouTube channel, and on there, a little new pop-up box. Looking pretty swish, Steve.
I've been working on the tech like you wouldn't believe.
Season 7. This is it, baby. We're going to go doing this into another lockdown. We're going to have to change the name back to Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems again.
Yeah, we so are. Struth. This is going to be all a bit much, isn't it? All a bit much for us.
But, there we go. Steve, we've got two problems to solve each. Do the first one. Okay,
I'm going to deal with the issue about the Omicropolis, the end of the world coming in. Look, it's nearly the start of December, which means, are you getting ready for lockdown 4? It's not really about Christmas anymore, is it? It's lockdown 4 or lockdown 3. It's difficult to know. One of them wasn't canon. But either way, we've got some worrying news to do with a new strain, which is why I've made this jingle.
Oh, my cron.
Omicron. Not to worry anyone, but I thought I'd make the jingle. So it's a new strain. It's called Omicron. We've got the headline here saying that face mask rules are coming back in and this Omicron variant is spreading. Why Omicron? If you want to terrify people, name a type of a virus after a villain from a sci-fi book. I don't know why they went with that one. And they had many options. We know that we used to name them after where they were discovered. And they stopped doing that for fear of there being discrimination and prejudice against the place. The Indian variant brought out the Al Murray in some people, and which is interesting actually because no one minded it being named after the place where it's discovered when we had the Kent variant.
Yeah.
But I suppose no one's going to say anything bad about Kent. People love it. Certainly thousands do who try and float across to it. Anyway, more on that story later, maybe. So instead, they decided to try and name it after the Greek alphabet because you don't want to besmirch the good reputation of any nation, but you can totally crap on that alphabet because no one cares. So let's bring up the Greek alphabet. We had a few of these already, the Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta variant, very famous. And then we jumped all the way down to Omicron. All the way down there. Interesting to think some of the ones that have been jumped over. If we look at the one just before it, that XI, apparently the reason they didn't use that is because they didn't want to offend the Chinese ruler Xi Jinping. And I actually agree. So often in the media, people have been saying, the World Health Organization, they're terrified of China and China's got too much power and everyone's just... No. If you don't want to name things after countries so you don't upset people, you shouldn't name viruses after people. Because this is why I actually don't think that we should name storms after people. Because imagine you're going through your life and then all of a sudden the storm that's named after you is like a really big one. It just ruins the rest of your life. All of your conversations will end up being like this.
Yeah, my name is Steve. What? Why are you crying? Oh, because all of your family died in Hurricane Steve. Yeah, I get that a lot. Sorry?
So I think it's okay to not call it she, that XI thing from the Greek alphabet. That's not the only one. Let's go back to the Greek alphabet again. The one before it, new. So I don't know why we didn't, and for a while people thought that it was going to be called the new variant, and honestly they got rid of it because they didn't want it to go really badly. They jumped over the she and the new is just embarrassing. They thought people would get confused between the letter new and the word new. Basically worrying that we'd end up with conversations that go like this.
I'm a little bit concerned about this new variant. No, you don't need to worry about that one. No, that's the old one. No, what you need to be concerned about is this new one. No, that's the old one. No, I'm more bothered about this new one. No, I think that was old one now. You want to worry about this new one. No, I've had that one already. No, but there is a new one I'm worried about.
And life would just be one long Abbott and Costello sketch for the rest of existence. So they didn't call it that. They didn't call it the XI one. They went with Omicron. What could possibly go wrong? Idiots. Yep, I don't know if you were sent this in any form of social media or WhatsApp or whatever. What I like about this meme that's been doing the rounds is it just me, or is it a coincidence that the new variant Omicron B is an anagram of no crimbo? I tell you what else is an anagram of. Omicron B. You learn to spell the thing if you're doing anagrams, you idiots. But the reason the B's in there is because one of the reference numbers that this has as a variant has a B at the front of it. Omicron B rearranges to no crimbo, and somehow that means that we're not going to have a Christmas. Which means in the future, if they name a strain Eater Norse, no Easter, that's going to be an absolute washout over that weekend. Look more into it as well. You know the phrase "wear a mask"? Anagram of that, weak as ram. They're calling you sheep. Sheep. How are you not spotting this? Also, if we do an anagram of coronavirus, our vicar son, proving that this is an Illuminati deal. It's been staring us in the face all along. What I can't understand is why, and I've never been in charge of some sort of global conspiracy, but why would the people in charge of it go to so much hassle to make this happen, but give away the ending in an anagram? Feels like I'd keep it more of a secret. I wouldn't send messages in anagrams. But then again, why would we use anagrams? Because an anagram of anagram is Magnara. I think I went down a dead end on that one. But so we've got a name. Loads of people think it's some sort of terrifying thing. All it means is that we've got more rules brought back in. Masks are now compulsory in shops and on public transport. If you want to get some examples of what it looks like to see people sticking to the rules in certain places, we have... Oh, no, we can't use that picture of him in a hospital. Well, there's always... No, he's on a train with that one. Well, there's always sitting next to someone who's in their 90s. No, you can't do that. Okay. And a lot of people have said, why is it only shops and public transport? What about pubs? And it's the same kind of thing that you get in this meme. I don't know if you've seen it, where you had to walk in a restaurant wearing a mask, but then if you sit down, you take it off. And people, I presume, willfully, deliberately ignorant, would say things like, what, so the coronavirus won't go in your mouth if you sat down? I mean, is that how coronavirus works? Oh my God, I'm so clever for spotting that. No. It obviously, we know that that's not what it is. It's a cost-benefit situation. The cost of wearing a mask whilst walking down the street, small. The cost of wearing a mask while trying to put food in your mouth, much larger to your t-shirt that will be covered in the food. It's the same reason why they don't bring in a rule saying you've got to wear a mask in the dentist. The cost of what it does to that experience, it means you'll never get any fillings. I suppose it'll speed this whole thing up, but you also won't have any good dentistry. How it's not difficult to spot the actual truth of it. You've not managed to somehow unravel the logic of it all. It's because if you need to put things in your mouth, wearing a mask makes it a bit trickier. But some people are really upset with this whole mask deal. And I don't know if you saw the musical that happened on the London Underground. Piers Corbyn and some of his supporter friends did an impromptu little skit, a vignette. And we love a vignette here on Comic Solving Problems. Piers Corbyn and gang started singing on the London Underground. Let's look at some of the clips.
mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
The level of desperation on his face and in his voice makes me think he's done more than a fart. He trusted it and he shouldn't have done. Oh, do farts have bits in them? Because, so that's how it starts. And then it goes one step further.
Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers. Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
Anyone who's ever been on the London Underground recognises that moment where you think to yourself, oh shit, nutters. What level of nutter are we dealing with? Is it one where I can wait to the next stop and get off a normal door? Or do I really have to go through it through the intercarriage door? But will that just draw focus of the nutters? We've all been through that situation. These days, you just pull your mask up. It's the only way to hide from them. And then they break into song.
Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers. Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
Having the words "mind the gap" behind you is pretty appropriate then. So that's part one of the musical. But what's missing is the clapback. What's missing is the song that sells the other side of it. So when this makes it to the West End, that will be the big Groot number, the overture to get things kicked off. And then all of a sudden, the stage goes dark. A spotlight illuminates one soloist as he sings...
But should it be, if we're in a crowded space and there is you and me, with your butthole near my face, and then you suddenly and violently break wind at me. The emotions it espouses when I'm shocked and I say, wowzers, I'd appreciate your trousers. It would really get my heckles if nothing stopped the speckles. It would look like I have freckles. So wear a mask. It would stop people's bickers. It's not a tricky task, and for you it's more like knickers. Trousers won't stop farts. It's a fairly safe punt. But your mask is like panties, 'cause it's covering a cunt.
Emotional. You thought I was going to bleep it, didn't you? We all thought I was going to bleep it. Would have been like a two Ronnie's joke. And I thought, yeah, let's do an obvious rhyme. But then I thought, actually, it's funny just to commit to the bit, isn't it? Get stuck into it.
And it's representative of who we're talking about in that. I mean, the music in there. I mean, that music that you just did was music, but them singing on that tram or train. I mean, that was planned. They took time to think, what could we do to sound, and I'm not musical, out of harmony, out of sync, out of tune, out of everything. It would have sounded better if they were singing out of their asses.
They weren't even getting the same lyrics at the same time later in the song.
No. It looked like, watching it, I thought the lip sync was off. Like, when we do a show and it's raining and so my internet doesn't work. But it was just...
I'm more annoyed that they had enough people to do at least a 4-part harmony with a few backups, and they didn't. And so, no, I will wear a mask, because not one of you could be bothered to learn to hit fifths. Damn it.
You were on the edge. You were on the edge of thinking, you know what, this is like trying to contain a fart. But come on.
I mean, also, there's a part of me was going to go down the rabbit hole, again, bad phrase, of their analogies a bit stupid anyway, because so a fart's got methane in it, CH4, that's one carbon, and I suppose you've got a hydrogen on either side, which are tiny because they're just protons, versus the size of a virus. You were saying one of the smallest gases you've got can make it through your trousers, therefore it won't stop a virus. Their science is flawed, but I'm not sure that was the bigger issue.
No.
That's not the angle I took.
Yeah. I mean, I think your point about the anagrams is well taken. I think it is kind of, it's sort of like a shit Dan Brown novel that these conspiracy theorists are going through. It's not, if the Dan Brown books, which were questionable in their quality, were just open it up and it's just one anagram. Oh, Jesus had a wife. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Whatever that would be. But I do actually have a conspiracy theory about this whole Omicron and all of this. This is a conspiracy.
Yep.
By the Greeks to make us learn their alphabet.
Oh my God, it's working.
Yep, that's who's doing this. That's how you can tell, because they got the G in there. They planted it in China.
Yeah.
Because now we know about the G in the Greek alphabet, which I didn't know about because no one ever knew anything about it.
It's just not one of their best letters.
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's the Greeks.
Because I think any letter where you've got to take the pen off the page and start again is not very good. Look at that one. Look at the capital. 3 bars is all it is. Absolute mess. Whereas lower down, chi, or kai, oh God. But that one, the one that looks like an X, that's what you're dealing with. None of this XI business. That one's wasteful because the lowercase is almost like the epsilon, just with the squiggly bit under it. And no one likes the capital. Forget that. Yeah, there are better letters out there. One of my favourite ones is upsilon, because it seems like you've made a mistake. It's my hot take.
You were feeling upsilon if you got on that train when Piers Corbyn was there. Upsilon.
Upsilon, move down the carriage.
Moving off my stop. So there we go.
I'll rattle through some of the comments. Thank you for getting in touch on the YouTube one's the best one to do it. Tom says still not cancelled. Not yet. But after that song... Oh, I should have said contains strong language. Bit late now. Mark says, I thought that was an EU mask. Things are going to kick off. Evening all, says Keith. If we're following the Greek alphabet, what happened to epsilon after delta? We jumped to Omicron, the 15th letter. Exactly. I mean, I covered some of them there. Jack says, I thought for years that Omicron is the unfairly underrated third Mike Oldfield album. A lot of people, I don't know if anyone said it in the chat yet, a lot of people saying it's probably a transformer, which is terrifying. Even worse than a virus. Oh, the little virus has turned into a car. Actually, says Mark, it was XI is a common name in China. It's not about one person. Either way, Steve's a common name, and I think I make a valid point about storms.
And names.
Evening all, says Charlotte, speaking of Crimbo, it's not every day you get to message Santa Claus at work. Massage Santa Claus at work. It could have been either, I suppose. Yeah. Let's have a look. Mark says anagram would be better as Manga-Ra. The world ended by the giant Japanese falcon-headed god. Terrifying stuff. Steve, as it's the district line, says Mark, there's no intercarriage doors anymore, so you can just walk to the end, but they can follow, singing about farts. West End Method, some nice ones there. Charlotte says, oh my God. Yeah, because it's singing. Sorry about that. Brit says, farts leaking out of your trousers don't spray potentially fatal or life-shattering viruses into the air for others to breathe. One just smells of shit and the other is total shit. I mean, you say that, but you've not smelt my farts.
Yeah, no one has.
Yeah, I'm not very gaseous. Very proud of that.
Would not last in my household.
No. I mean, as we've discussed it before, the couple of minutes when we're connected before we start streaming is just belches in my ear. Yeah.
How you doing, Eric? Farts.
Great.
I'm mute. Where do you think that mask goes when I'm not wearing it on my face?
Mark says, science fact. Oh, he's tucking it in. An atom of fart gas is 3 nanometers in diameter, while the COVID virus is between 20 and 140 nanometers in diameter. Exactly. Tell that to Piers Corbyn.
You don't get this kind of coverage anywhere else.
No, that's so very true. And Britt says, let's all offer to fart in their masks. We're here to help. Somehow, you're right. That short circuits the logic. Well, if you're available, Piers, I'll fart in your mask.
He's too busy eating the bark off trees, if you remember that from when we covered him in a previous episode when we were looking at mayoral contestants.
Yeah, but also mayoral. Weird.
Mayoral.
We did both.
Omnicorp.
So if you hopefully you're watching on the YouTube one is the place for the chat if you'd like to get involved in the conversation, and if you appreciate this show in any capacity, throw some money towards it, because I mean, look, the technology's improved. This ain't free. All the stuff that's been going on here. Look at this. Look, I can even tell you our Twitter address. Look at that.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Mr. Eric McElroy, we turn to you and say, what's your problem?
Of which, Canada is in a sticky position. And you know, Steve, I don't normally care about Canada, except for every now and then we get a few viewers from there, and they've been known to donate a little bit. I mean, their money's not really worth anything, but it's still sweet that they try. But I thought, you know what? We don't cover Canada very much, but when we do, we should have, like you have an Omicron alert.
Yep.
Omnicop. It doesn't matter what it's called.
Omicron.
We need to have. No one knows how to say it.
I even spelled it out in the jingle. Oh my cron. Omicron.
Omnicom.
Yep.
We need to have a Canadian jingle just to get us set up for news from Canada. So here we go.
The letters? Yeah. Oh, there they are. Okay.
Do you know Strange Brew?
No.
Do you know those guys?
No.
Oh, you got to go back and look. It's one of the best things to ever come out of Canada, honestly. It was a sketch. It was a show. It was very, very good. They didn't do much in Canada. You should blame them for a lot, but that's one of the good things that happened there. But this is not a crisis made from 80s television. This is another crisis in the Great White North, and it's a pretty big deal. There's a massive shortage, and Canada has had to tap its strategic reserves. Now, I know you're immediately thinking, reserves of what? Oil, perhaps? Dead baby seals? I don't know what these reserves are. So you have to look a little bit further. It's reserves of maple syrup.
Oh, dear.
I mean, Canada wants to be taken so seriously on the world stage. They just keep trying and trying, but then they're like, what's the main thing that they're coming out of Canada? Maple syrup, or a lack of maple syrup, depending on what's happening. But I mean, you have to think that this is a joke, that they have a strategic reserve of syrup, that it is some sort of sketch. Is it a joke? Oh, no. They released 50 million pounds of maple syrup from its emergency stockpile, almost half of the reserve. They have a stockpile of syrup. I mean, I'm just hoping I get some waffles nearby if I'm going to visit the Canadian stockpile. So what does this reserve look like, you might ask? Someone got asked to do a story about the reserve and just went way over the top. They got very excited about it. Also, it was a Canadian news organization, and I think they take it very seriously. But, I mean, it looks like a prison that they're holding that syrup in. That's a whole different orange is the new black. This is more... The golden syrup is the new syrup. And we're talking about real syrup here, not that shit that you guys have. What is that syrup thing? I'm talking about 100% maple syrup. That's sugar sweetener, golden. It's in a can.
Yeah, golden syrup.
Oh, it's like baked beans for breakfast. I don't want to talk about it.
It's lovely.
But how much do you think all that syrup is worth? $100 million worth of syrup. That is a lot of syrup. I mean, to be fair, those are Canadian dollars, so we're talking about 50p. Okay. But still, in their economy, it's a lot. It's insane. And, you know, you think, are they worried that somebody might steal it? You know, how do you protect that much of the sweet, sweet nectar? Got the door slammed. Lock those windows. Check it. Yep. And motion detectors. And up there, look, one camera. Here's all the syrup. I just love how they just show. They wiggled the latch on the window. Yep, that'll do it. Yep, no moose getting in here. We're fine. Now, we laugh at them because it's silly. How well did all that security work? $18 million worth of syrup were stolen.
Wow.
So I think they should have triple checked the window. Because you know what it's like? I'm at an age now where I lock the door and then I got to go back and I got to double check that I locked the door because I don't want somebody taking my sweet, sweet syrup. Now, you'd think, all right, if I'm going to steal syrup, I mean, how do I do that? I mean, like, is that such a big deal? I mean, what is the, just the value of an understandable amount of syrup?
And value of maple syrup is maybe 20 times more than the value of crude oil.
Syrup is worth more than crude oil. I don't want a Tesla. I want a syrup mobile. That'd be nice. But if you're worried about the stolen syrup, as I'm sure you might have some sleepless nights now, don't be, because there's a happy ending there as well. They got most of it back, so that's good. They got the syrup back from the theft. I mean, they got most of it back. Not saying where I got this from, but I got myself a good little deal. Let's just have a little taste of that just to get me through the night. Oh, yeah, that is good.
The hell is that? You're gonna
nectar of the gods.
You got to finish it up with a banana.
Meet me out back.
Look, $18 million worth of syrup. I can't help thinking, we saw the security. I think it's the people who work there have been nicking it. All I'm saying is I think some of the workers have sticky fingers.
I can't talk now because it's really sweet to drink it like that. There you go. None of that. I wonder how much the golden nectar goes for on the black market.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
It tastes like shit.
Well,
terrible. I hope you don't have that in your house.
I don't know. It's just sugar, isn't
syrup.
it? Sugar and something else.
Yeah. But
no.
that is fake sugar. This is the real stuff.
Real sugar, but it's fake syrup.
Tap tree and just a little bit of syrup.
Yeah, and that's how they survive, isn't it? Like the Canadian Bear Grylls would just be fat, absolutely hugely obese, type 2 diabetic.
So there you go. Canada's in a tough place.
Well,
sorry, guys.
Sounds bad news for them. Yeah.
But let's see what people thought in the comments here. We're back a little bit still. I don't know if you mentioned COVID is obviously 0 microns big.
That's the next comment out of all of them. 0 microns. Well, that's good. Give or take about 120 nanometers. Yeah.
Okay. What about TV actors? Canada exports loads of those. That's true, but not performers on comic solving problems. Does the UK still have its Butter Mountain and Wine Lake?
Yeah, that was an EU deal, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Okay. I don't remember that one. We had a Butter Mountain?
I think that might be before you joined.
And we can't ski down it.
Yeah, that is problematic.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Britt says we have both milk and grain piles, so maple syrup isn't that strange. I know. I've been trying to get rid of my piles for a while. Jack says our global status is so diminished, we now have just a knob of butter.
Yep, and he's in number 10. Am I right? Oh.
I thought you were going for a report there, and yet we're getting a report now on the knob of butter, and he's in number 10.
Yeah, can't believe it's not.
Britt says millions of dollars of syrup stolen. That really is a sticky situation.
Nice.
Ba-boom-tish.
Nice.
Should
Who
be
would
there.
do it? Who would do a sticky pun? Oh, honestly.
Britt and Steve. Mark says 68,000 barrels of crude oil currently. That's about $4.5 million in the U.S. So maple syrup is twice as expensive.
Hell yeah. And it does taste better.
Do you know that, though? I mean,
No,
I've had
never
diesel,
tried.
but never crude petrol.
Yeah. I'm sure you make a salad dressing out of it, can't you?
Because you never watched the Beverly Hillbillies either, probably.
I'm aware of their work, yeah.
Yeah, they drank oil on that one. Mark is responding to Britt saying police are asking for witnesses, but serious ones only. Don't call if you're just going to waffle. See, I could have written those puns, but I thought, you know what? Yeah. We've got viewers who will do it for us.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Right. Make sure to like the show if you're enjoying it, and the Ko-fi link is there.
Right, on to the next problem. I'm going to deal with technology, AI. Is it going to end us all? This is the problem that we're facing. Look, loads of people have said that they've got issues with technology. It wasn't that long ago that Professor Stephen Hawking was saying that artificial intelligence could end mankind. I remember we were doing live gigs in London, topical gigs, And there was a quote in that story where he was talking about AI, where he says that we shouldn't let computers do everything for us.
Yeah.
And he was trolling us, wasn't he? He was setting us up for a joke that would get us cancelled. Well, nice try, Professor. Not falling for that one. But there's loads of stories where humans are being replaced by technology. And thankfully, we do have an update on a story we've been following quite closely. The bodybuilder who married a sex doll, he's taken his second sex doll wife on a lavish honeymoon after the first one broke. Does seem like a nightmare. There they are on holiday. Let's just get some details of the story. They went on honeymoon, and so honeymooning in Bulgaria. And I did think to myself, how can they afford all of these fancy trips? But I suppose she's just luggage. So that must help. And on that topic, right, he said that they didn't have a chance to enjoy their honeymoon with Luna until now. The pandemic changed everyone's plans. For you, but not for her. Like, she would have been allowed to travel absolutely anywhere. And, like, we humans were not allowed to travel from country to country. But with Amazon, she could have got there the next day. Just saying. Let's not start blaming us all. Then, there's some pictures of their honeymoon. There they are. She's not looking that happy, is she? Not looking at the camera. Just distant with a sense of ennui, staring out the window. All right, any more pictures from the honeymoon? Oh, God. Things are not going well. Luna, are you okay? If you need help, just blink. I guess she's fine. So that was one of the stories about, the sex doll. We get an update. The problem is, with so regularly talking about Uri and his sex doll issues, it means that when Darren, who sometimes watches the show, listens to the Time FM show, saw on TikTok some videos about sex dolls, he then tweeted me a link saying, I saw this and thought of you, which is not really what you want people to say when it comes to sex dolls. But I watched the videos, and it's about a guy he's got some sex dolls. Let's watch some of the videos.
I have an insatiable thirst for beautiful women of different types.
That is quite different. Yeah, that is quite different. Plastic, yeah, artificial. That's, well, fair enough. Some people like that turf. Well, anything else?
One doll is not enough. It's, if I have one, then I see others, and I want them as well.
Oh, God, the tongue came out. That's why you shouldn't be allowed near real women. I'll have that. It's truth.
Oh, my God.
I've never wanted a partner to be able to do that. I don't know what was happening there, but no, I don't want someone who's machine washable.
You've not lived.
I've not lived like that guy. It's the truth. If I only have one, then that wouldn't be right. Yeah, that'd be weird if you only had one.
Yeah, she's still asleep. And that's, of course, her sleeping face.
Is it, though? Because it could also be her Windows updating face. It's very difficult to tell whether it's a sleeping face or not. There's another bit where he says...
She just lies there. They're very static. They just don't react at all.
Just like the real thing. Am I right? Boom! We'll put that joke in there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing, though, right? If anything, this shouldn't be as weird as things we now consider perfectly normal. Like, women tend to be synonymous with just having a vibrator, which is basically saying, oh, I want something that's a bit penis-shaped. That's all I want. Do you want the rest of it? Nah. Do you want any other part of the body? Nah, just the penis. Upset. Men are often accused of being, like, one-track minded, whereas when it comes to sex toys, women are like, that thing, just that, not even the balls, just that. That's all I'm after. If the equivalent would be a guy saying, like, all I want is just, like, one tit. Just, and that'd seem weird. So if anything, there should be some moral high ground about being less pervy. Instead of just wanting just the functional bits, you want something that replicates the entire person, which almost makes you feel like these people should have that higher moral ground until they all sound like this.
I have an insatiable thirst for beautiful women of different types.
You could win that argument if it weren't for all of them going, oh, she's lovely. But the reason I mention that is we do have to worry about technology replacing us physically, but also specifically replacing us, because there's a news story about a company that is offering to buy your face, your voice, and your personality. Now, probably the news story is just a press release to get them in the papers, but it did make me think, and they were going to pay $200,000 for the rights to your face, the rights to your voice, and then like AI mapping you. And why not? I'm not really using any of those things in there. So it made me think, if they could take various measurements and whatever and replicate you. So I said yes. They've not sent the money through yet, which is worrying. But I'm joined now by the AI version of me. Hello. Hello, Steve. I am the computer version of you, compiled from your physical scans, your neural scans, and the data from those surveys you took in Cosmopolitan magazine, where you are mostly bees. But are you the same? Do you have compassion? Do you have a soul? No, I do not have a soul. As I said, I am an exact copy of you. Fair play. That is exactly the joke I would have done. Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Ah, you've got a soul.
Well, no.
You've got shoes.
So if they want to buy that soul for $200,000, think of the syrup I could get.
Oh. Cheers. I'll
Still
drink
got the
to that.
dregs. Still got the dregs. So yeah, let's go to the comment section on YouTube. There we go. Where do we join it from? Was the Maple story on Nectarflix? Oh. Next time we should just turn up early with the stories, do the puns, and then add the puns into the stories.
Yeah.
People are writing better ones than we do. There's iBogey saying they made self-replicating xenobots out of African frogs now. They did. I saw that story. Yeah. Terrifying. Martin says she seems a little deflated. Oh, good. Very good. Only letting herself down, says iBogey. Excellent work. Excellent work. And Martin says, Steve, is AI you non-fungible? Yeah, if you want to buy the non-fungible version of me, you go for it. He only says those 2 lines you saw in that sketch, though, so feel free.
Yeah, that's profound.
Is it?
Do you have a soul?
Nah.
Nah.
Well, we probably none of us do. We are just simply atoms. Anyway, so if you'd like to get in touch,
You're gonna make me hit the syrup again.
you can donate. The Ko-fi link's on screen, and get stuck in some tweets as well after the events. Share the link. Look at all the buttons I've got doing all this.
You spent the last week doing all that. There we go.
So
right.
you do your next story, and then I'll show you what some of the other buttons do as well.
Oh, fantastic. I like that. Well, this is a story that kind of leads off the back of what you've just saying, and it's a problem with role play in the bedroom. Something I know that you've personally talked to a lot about off camera, because we've all had those problems. It's a big topic. We actually cover it a lot on our bedroom problem-solving show that's over on OnlyFans. And if you ever want to come check us out on that, please join us if you fancy looking at it. But this is some really bad stuff that happened to a woman named Sharon Gilbert. And what I'm guessing is her long-suffering husband, Derek, which she described on a Christian channel in the U.S.
After Derek and I got married, one night, this other Derek appears in our bed.
Oh, well, I'm guessing maybe Derek had a twin brother. Possible hypothesis that he hasn't mentioned to you yet. What happened when this new Derek appeared in your bed?
The real Derek is lying down next to me. Other Derek sits right up out of him. It startled me.
That's the most understated "it startled me" I've ever heard, because I think at that point it would startle you because you'd forgotten about the mushrooms that you'd eaten earlier in the evening. So you've just seen your husband's out-of-body self sit up next to you. Where does your mind go first?
I knew that was not Derek. And so I asked this critter, "Who are you?" Because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations.
Oh, that's where your mind goes, you dirty girl. I'm liking you, Sharon. Well done. So how are these relations going to work exactly?
Well, other Derek seriously wanted to invite me to use my free will to do something that was going to pull me away from God.
Not just pull you away from God. I think Derek wanted you to pull something off. I think that's what Derek was hoping that you would do. So let's see, how do things progress after this moment?
So this last time, I knew he was really desperate.
So this last time? So this has happened more than once, Sharon. This is a regular occurrence in your bedroom fetish play. And that's what you're sharing with us all today. Is that what you're saying? Or you genuinely believe that there's a spirit out there and you still keep going to bed with this guy? You're either into it or you're not. But you're not going, well, he might have a spirit within him that's going to come out and try and have sex with me. Let's see what happens on a Tuesday. I'm going to get the guy a sleep apnea machine. Surely that would sort that out. That's what that's for, isn't it? So how did the discussions go between husband and wife in this moment?
And I asked him again, who are you? He told me the same answer, and I said, I am not going with you. This was an internal dialogue.
This is an internal dialogue. So what's happening, Sharon, is, you're from a very conservative culture. Your husband doesn't quite know how to make the moves on you. So he's sitting up. He's getting a little bit frisky. He's having a little bit of fun. You're groggy. You're not very much awake yet. You're just laying there staring at him. In your mind, you're having a talk with who you think might be potentially a demon or some sort of soul or something that's possessed your husband. So this poor guy's just looking at you, staring at him while you talk to yourself. What happens next, Sharon? Oh, uh-oh. Where'd you go, Sharon?
Oh, hopefully. We lost a Sharon.
We lost a Sharon?
I can try and get you a Sharon. Please hold.
I believe Sharon should be there. Sharon, are you there? Sharon, I can hear you, Sharon. She's talking to me in my head. Can you not hear it? Can you not hear the voice?
What story is this?
It's the E1. It definitely loaded in.
I grabbed his face.
Ooh.
And I said, you are a liar and Jesus is real. And I pulled that face off.
I think Jesus is more real than this story is, Sharon. Now, we've got up until 11. Do you think those clips are there? Or we don't know yet?
We don't know.
We'll get to find out as we go through. This is the magic of the technology when we didn't quite check all the videos like we should have. So she grabs the mask off his face. She accuses him of being not Jesus, whatever. So what happens once she's got the mask off of him?
There's got to be a lovely gap which you get to edit out for the clips later.
It is there, guys. This is building the tension.
And beneath it was a reptile.
Ooh.
Okay.
And he had little creatures with him this time. He brought these little halfling creatures, and they looked like, I don't know, gargoyles.
So what's basically, I mean, it sounds to me like he's a lizard Santa and his elves. That's how they're bringing it round to the Christian thing, I think. Maybe. Either that or Derek's brought his mates over and they're having a little bit of a, I'm not going to say. But let's see. Let's make sure what was under that face again.
So beneath that face of Derek was a reptilian serpentine creature, probably similar to what was visiting the Anasazi.
Wow. So she's just laid out this whole story. She's described it to these people who are sitting there watching her. And I mean, it's pretty intense. I mean, she clearly, she's acting like she believes this actually happened to her. She's presented it to them in some sort of conversation. And so she turns it over to the two guys. And how do you react to that story?
Anasazi.
Wow.
Well, the Bible says.
Wow. Well, anyway, let's move on from that because Sharon has been telling us that story for months and months, and we just really had hoped she hadn't done it live on television. So can we just move back over here? Can we take the camera off Sharon, please? Sharon? She's going to talk about fucking her reptilian husband again. They're so kinky. Should not be on this channel. But what I love is that the entire time this story's going out, if you looked at her Chiron underneath of it, or her little display, because they're trying to sell stuff. That's what this is all about. Look at what they're selling. They are selling something that hasn't come up yet under P11. E11.
Okay, I'm getting there. No one's noticing. P11.
The Great Delusion DVD. The whole time.
Wow.
And you can call 1-888-895, whatever the rest of that number was. $25 to get your delusion on.
Is anyone else wanting to know what it was that was going to take her further away from God?
Anal.
I guess.
You said the C word. I get to say anal.
Yeah, well. I know, I did not say the C word. I sang the C word.
Okay.
Surely one of them is better, isn't it?
Sure. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's good for the soul. So there you go.
Wow.
You thought you had bedroom problems.
Never been accused of being a reptile with a removable face.
And all of his mates. I mean, there you go. Some crazy news out there, folks.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's see. Don't mention the banana. Let's see. Where did we start from things here? Which button opens the trapdoor under Eric's chair?
Not installed that.
Derek's not pulling out either. Says Martin. Mark, that was iBogey who wants the trapdoor under my chair. Mark says, was she being asked to pull other Derek's free will? I think she was. Britt says, after a story about sex dolls ending up talking about Steve turning into AI, don't let him show you what all my new buttons do, Eric. Banana eating was enough.
He'll take you further away from God.
Chugging some syrup wasn't a problem. Martin says, Derek says no. Mark says, Britt, hope he doesn't have a Dolly Parton button.
Oh, if I could work out how to do a Dolly Parton button, that'd be so good.
You'll start working on that now that you've said that. Thanks, Mark. Chris Curling says, Sharon is currently busy with both Derek's and the manager of Tesco. She should be a Karen. I mean, you could see her complain about it. I wonder if she wears a mask because her husband likes to wear a mask. Martin says, maybe ease up on the late night cheese, lady. That'll do it. Cheese is the gateway to Satan. Martin says, how does she get insurance after this? She probably has a gun. She has a gun permit. I'm sure she has a gun. Yeah. Charlotte Armstrong says, Britt, please don't mention the banana eating. I've got to bring back a banana.
Yeah, it's all about the banana.
Mark says, I like that they say pay by credit card or check. Yes, check you're not talking to a complete nut job. We spell check properly in the United States.
Yeah.
We still use checks inexplicably. And we send money to nut jobs like that. Britt says Derek needs to get a new face night moisturizer. Maybe that's what it's, a mask. So Derek is
reducing his pores.
Martin says syrup would take her somewhere. So there we go. And Mark says, Steve singing, Eric talking about reptiles. This episode is scale heavy.
Nice.
God. Chris says, men in white coats with a straight jacket leading the lovely Sharon to a life of Jesus in the padded.
Wow. Yeah. You're the people in your nation there. Entertaining, at least. You have to say that.
There we go. Inexplicably, iBogey has said.
Fair enough.
Question mark. Good spelling of it, though. That's the way I would spell it.
There might be a pun in there, but we've not worked out what it is right now.
We have not, but we enjoyed it nonetheless. Thank you for that. So there we go. Problems solved.
Yeah. So I've set up hotkeys for a few different things. So earlier on, when we had the mention of the manager of Tesco, we can bring that whenever. We also have the ability, I think they're up here, to...
it's back. Nice. Do I get one?
Yeah.
Good. Is that the Omicron?
That's the new variant. I photoshopped it to make it exact. We can, should we need to do any rants, can do the solo Steve screen is available, and just set up solo Eric. Look at that.
And I got my hat as well, ready for solo experience.
See things that are out of shot. Yeah. Look at that.
It's good. It's thin. I like the hat.
And the other thing is, just in case anyone ever does a joke. Thank you.
You didn't use that entire 50 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Also, I probably should have used this one in a song earlier. Could have done with that. But, yeah. And I think we're up to date with that's what all the buttons do now.
There we go. Well, some nice buttons. I think I can see, though, I forgot about that when the sex doll husband was talking about how they've been affected by coronavirus. Probably it does, because he's got to cover her mouth with a mask. And that gets in the way.
Yeah.
What? You telling me the virus knows?
It knows. We better be careful how sarcastic we are with that, because we can't get another strike until February.
Whoops.
So, I think we've come to the end of the show. Hopefully we've solved all your problems. It probably just made them worse. You got anything you want to plug?
No. Well, keep social media. Basically, follow me on social media, because not only is there the Time FM show, which is drive time, so it starts at 2, a little bit early, but 2 till 6 every day. Got some gigs coming up, but the big thing is there's going to be a week of special Christmas shows on Union Jack Radio that I'm doing.
Ooh, nice. Very good. I guess we should do a Christmas show too, probably.
Yeah, we need to look at our diaries for this, don't we?
Yeah, look at something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm doing my first Buzz Bingo in Basingstoke on Friday. So if you're near the Basingstoke area and fancy some Buzz Bingo comedy, check it out.
So how does that work? Well, they pull out the number and you've got to do a joke about it, like
you have to memorize a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like. It doesn't start until like 9:30 at night. But it's all old people at a bingo hall, I thought. So I don't understand how they stay up that late.
It's going to get pretty rowdy if you're there at that time.
I am opening and I am out of there.
They've done the Synatogen, a couple of shots of Synatogen, and they'll be flipping going for it.
I'll bring in some of the good stuff.
Zimmer frames thrown left, right, and centre. They look like trolleys in a river.
1 liter of Canadian gold.
Canadian gold. Well.
Yep. So yeah, check that out if you're in the Basingstoke area.
So I think we're nicely done and up to date. There'll be some clips of this. Share those on social media if you could. It'd really help. The more you can send links of this show out to people, because this is it. We're doing the big push. Series 7 is the one where we're really going to jump the shark. Just sit around singing for no good reason. So this is the one to start plugging. Get the word out there.
There you go. Please do share and like and do all those kind of things. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time.
Or whatever comes first. Till then,
bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.